Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing a updated Spike Brother deck profile for the... so I basically took the deck and redid it because it seems like it had issues with power and resource management, power gaining and resource management. So changed the grade 3 lineup quite a bit and then modified the grade 1 lineup as well. And after doing so, the deck win rate has gone up tremendously. And the ability to rush early and push damage early is really the thing that I noticed change a lot after making these improvements to the deck. So to start off, we're still running for General Seifried because he is still the main Vanguard that you want to see in all the matches. So this is a more budget-focused Spike Brother deck, so I'm still sticking with him. He's an older card. I've had him for a while now, so I didn't have to bother. I didn't really bother like getting any of the newer, more current things or more current cards available. But I stuck with him. But another really good card that works really, really well with him is Juggernaut Maximum. So Juggernaut Maximum, I put him in at max copies because you need all 4 of him for him to be relevant in this deck. And boy, does he make a difference. This card is actually pretty amazing. He always was, even back in the early days of Vanguard, way back when Spike Brothers were brand new. But I had no idea like how much of an improvement the deck would gain after changing to Juggernaut Maximum. So for Juggernaut Maximum and for General Seifried, those are the 2 main grade 3s. And then I am running 2 Bad End Dragger because if you do open up with Bad End Dragger, you can still go for the Break Ride effect, especially if you ride on top of him, General Seifried, then he gets called out into another column, and then you get to retire all of your opponent's rear guards in that column. So I do like that play. It's kind of random, but it's a thing. And then his Vanguard rear guard effect is when he attacks, you can counterblast 1, put a rear guard onto the bottom of the deck, and he gets plus 5k and a critical. So he's got critical pressure as Vanguard or rear guard. So I think that is pretty good. But it is resource heavy, but it is worth using it just because it's a budget card. It's a budget build. 10 grade 3s of Spike Brothers, a really heavy rush you down sort of deck is fine. For grade 2s, 4 Powerback Renaldo. This card, plus there's a grade 1 here, Gyro Slinger. The 2 of them together can literally just build up the whole field. On turn 2, you can just go off like at grade 2. That's the cool thing about this guy. For just like counterblast 1 and then putting 2 cards from hand into soul, his cost and then Gyro Slinger just together, it's insane. Like, and then comboing like another one of them. Next, for Derange Thaddeus. So this is one of the key cards that helps you move. The unique thing about this deck as a Force Clan, it has the ability to move the gift markers to different rearguard circles. So you can move them around. So you can put them, like you can even move them to the Vanguard with the booster guy. So that's pretty cool actually. That's something that you don't really see in any of the other clans. So it's a cool thing that's unique to Spike Brothers right now. So 4 of him. And then 4 Treasure Black Panther. So Treasure Black Panther along with Juggernaut Maximum are the real like powerhouses of the deck. And then when coupled with General Seifried's ability to swap one of them for another one of the same card and then give them 10k plus him also gaining 10k, is it really makes the deck fun to play. So we've got a lot of attackers, so we are kind of top heavy, like 10 grade 3s and 12 grade 2s. And that's fine because this is a big, like, you want to go off on like the turn 3 ride and then call a bunch of stuff out. And then Juggernaut Maximum is usually going to be a rear guard. Bad End Dragger works as a rear guard, so it works out. Next, we've got 4 Snapper Devil. This is your best turn 1 ride. He's a Vanguard. His Vanguard effect, when his attack hits, you get to draw a card. So kind of like Sable Dragonaut. And then his rear guard effect is he can move all force markers to the boosted unit circle. So the cool thing about this is you can put him behind the Vanguard and then use him if you need to move the circle back like onto the Vanguard line column. You can do that with this guy, or you could move it to a Juggernaut Maximum or something on a rear guard column. So that's pretty cool. Next, for Gyro Slinger, this guy, along with Renaldo, are what helps you build up the field. You might have something in your hand that you can't really use offensively, like a critical trigger, for instance. You can put that in, and then look at 2 or 3 based off of what your Vanguard's grade is, and then call 1 for among them. So it's pretty good overall. And then the only other grade 1, this is what changed in the grade 1 lineup. I'm only running 3 Elevation Wideouts. So 3 of this guy, because you don't really need too many grade 1s. And what I found is, in terms of the budget line, there's not a whole lot of grade 1s that I have available, except this guy that I find useful. So if you need him to attack, you can stick him in the front row as an attacker, and then usually there'll be a force marker there for him, and that'll give him 10k. So if you go force, the cool thing is if you go force 2, for whatever reason, you can actually go force 2. I've gone force 2 a couple times with this deck, and it has worked pretty well. I was surprised by the results going force 2, especially after adding Juggernaut Maximum. These 2 with force 2 is pretty scary, and being able to move it around with cards like Snapper Devil, or even this guy. So being able to move him around gives you a lot of options. So you can just place this guy somewhere if you need an extra attacker, because you may not have the ability to call stuff from the deck. With this guy, for instance, you used up, let's say you used up your treasure Black Panthers, you don't have any more. You whiff on this guy's effects, you don't have them. So then you can use Elevation Wideout as a backup. You can move him forward, then he becomes 18. If he's on a Force 1, he'll be 28. If he's on a stacked Force 1, he'll be 38. And if you're on Force 2, then he's 18 with critical pressure. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff with that guy. So deck's definitely improved since last time. And then for the trigger lineup, for Cheer Girl Marilyn, Draw Sentinel, pretty self-explanatory. And then Mevis, still running her, and then Silence Joker. So trigger lineup didn't change at all. Still 8 critical, 4 draw. You need the draws primarily because you tend to put a lot of cards from your hand into the soul to check cards on the top of the deck and then build up the field that way. So that's why I feel like the draws are more useful to replenish the hand when they go off. And it also allows you to not have to run the grade 1 Sentinel, so you can just run, more grade 2s and 3s. And then Chill Girl Tiara, but I guess you could try 12 crit if you want to be even more aggro, but I don't really recommend it. And then Chill Girl Tiara, the heal, and then Mecha Trainer to starter. So that's basically the changes I made to the deck. It does a lot better, and it's a lot more fun than the previous edition. As much as I like Bat and Dragger from the olden days of Break Ride Vanguard, I realized Juggernaut Maximum just overall is a lot more consistent at making the deck feel alive and just do a lot more. So I hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile. This deck is definitely my favorite edition of Spike Brothers so far. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.